What's up guys, my name is Tom and welcome back to another video. And here back to my F1 2019 career mode episode 16, and today is the Singapore Grand Prix around Marina Bay. I know, it's been a while since the last episode that was around Monza, and I just want to apologize to you guys for the lack of career mode in the last few weeks, but it's just the last episode was on the keyboard, and then I had to transition to the steering wheel just to get used to the wheel, but finally I have enough confidence to get back to career mode this time with the steering wheel. So make sure to smash like and subscribe channel if you see plenty more Formula 1 content. And in terms of performance charts we receive, upgrade for the engine department, a minor one, so the difference in terms of performance is not going to be absolutely abysmal, but things are pretty close when it comes to the midfield. Just to see, there's still some gap to the top 3 teams, but hopefully we can reduce that gap until the end of the season. We'll see. But in terms of pace has been really solid over the course of the weekend, and let's keep this consistent. We are scoring points since the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, so let's keep this momentum heading to Singapore. So without further ado, it's time for qualifying, and let's see if this car is pretty good over the course of one lap.
It's time for us to settle down and the drivers below to get fired up. Once again, welcome to Singapore as we get ready for the green light and the start of what should be a fantastic qualifying session. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
And here we are on our first lap in Q1, just to get used to a little bit, and as you can see, having a little bit of a fishtail on the first corner, now a little bit of oversteer, just to get used to the car, because I'm running with a setup that I didn't run on practice. I was running with the default setup, and heading to this qualifying, these are my first laps with a career mode setup there, so on the internet was the best, the most voted one. And now I'm doing more laps. I did one lap, then the cool down lap, and I did another one, and then came back to the pits and put another set of soft tires, because at the moment we are in P19, but we're improving substantially, 7 tenths as we go into the final corner, losing a little bit of time, but it's going to be enough to get us through into Q2 by crossing the line in P15, only just, not even the 10th ahead of Norris that was knocked out of the first qualifying session. But now we are in Q2. At the moment, Lucas Weber with the fastest time, and we're going to cross the line with a 1:37.7, and we are ahead of our teammate. I'm not entirely sure now about us. That's provisional pole. It's not pole because we are in Q2, but now we're going to cross the line and we improve quite substantial 1 second, and it's enough to get us through into Q3, a double Q3 appearance for Toro Rosso. Lucas Weber only just makes through to the top 10 shootout, and here we are leaving the pits. We just have unfortunately one set to use in Q3, because you used 2 sets on Q1, so unfortunately we're going to have just one run. And let's see if we can't make mistakes. At first corner, try to get a little bit of a clean lap with not many mistakes, and I think we can get a pretty good position. But at the moment, heading to the going through the Anderson Bridge, things are going. It's a pretty tidy lap with no mistakes, but I think I pushed a little bit more in my Q1. We received the warning for exceeding track limits on the first sector. We lose a little bit the back end, but we only just avoid the wall, and yeah, we are still going. I think it's going to be a pretty decent position. We cross the line, and no, it's not a pretty decent position. It's just P9, and that error on the that mistake on the is actually P10. That mistake on the sector 3 was and our teammate in P5, ahead of one of the Red Bulls, so the Lucas Weber effect coming to play this weekend, it seems, ahead of Valtteri Bottas as well. So we have some work to do if we want to finish ahead of our teammate, but never say never in Formula 1. So without further ado, let's go to the grid and let's see if we can score some good points.
As the sun sets over the South China Sea, the sport that never sleeps is alert and raring to go. Welcome, under the bright lights of the Marina Bay circuit, to another Singapore Grand Prix. It's a very long, very physical lap, this one, and really there's not much in the way of margin for error. So we have a bit of an endurance race for you tonight. It's a 3.1 mile lap here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit with 47% taken at full throttle. It's hot, humid and bumpy around the 13 lefts and the 10 rights of mostly slow corners. But we should see speeds of up to 200 miles per hour along the Raffles Boulevard. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Renault. They've had just one retirement in the last 5 races. What do you think that says about the reliability of their car?
I think they can be fairly pleased with that record so far. The first thing any good car needs is a solid, reliable base with which to build on, and they seem to have that this season.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Weber, Pierre Gasly and Vettel, Bottas, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg and Thomas, Perez, Fiat, Devon Butler and Raikkonen, Russell, Norris, Lance Stroll and Robert Kubica, Magnussen and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Even with some grid penalties, we are still in P10. I think ahead of us was just Sebastian Vettel that was on pole position, and we received a 5 place penalty, grid penalty, sorry, for this weekend. So here we are, first career mode race with the steering wheel. I'm a little bit nervous because the only system I'm using is the racing line and the ABS, the racing line, to know where the braking zones are, but strategy-wise it's going to be a soft medium strategy, and the guys behind us, like Sergio Perez, going to start on the mediums and probably going to try the one stop, we'll see, but these soft tires going to wear up at the speed of light, 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. It wasn't a good start, and Sergio Perez in the harder compound of tire gets alongside me, but we're going to go on the inside line, heading to turn 1, try to squeeze him off. We made a little bit of contact with the Renault of Daniel Ricciardo. He's going to push us like Perez Ocon in 2018 in the real life Grand Prix, but now we're going to have the inside line, so the corner is going to be ours, and we're going to squeeze very aggressively Ricciardo, give a taste of his own medicine, and we are promoting to P9 at the end, not even in the end of the first sector. Now Sebastian Vettel and Nico Hülkenberg going side by side. Can we take the pieces of that? No, Sebastian Vettel gets ahead, and now he's going to try to pull away, but there's a train ahead of us where that is formed by our teammate Lucas Weber, so he's doing a great job for us, a good teamwork, but it seems that he's struggling for pace in these soft tires in these early stages of the Singapore Grand Prix. But lap 3 we've been getting closer and closer slightly to Nico Hülkenberg, and now we are in the slipstream, but we're not going to do anything because he's on the slipstream of Vettel. I tried to take a slight look on the inside, but the move wasn't there, and we have to stick in P9 at the moment. This is Weber going side by side with Bottas, and he has inside line and he maintains the position, so Weber is doing an absolutely great job. He has a huge gap to the Red Bull of Gasly, so I don't know, maybe Toro Rosso helping Red Bull, I don't know, having a little bit of oversteer moment as we go through the Anderson Bridge, and we are still behind Nico Hülkenberg. These guys are struggling a lot. They can't pass our teammate, which is good for us. It gives us more chances to overtake these guys, but I think now we are close enough to the gearbox of Nico Hülkenberg. He's going defensive. We have the DRS open. We will try to go around the outside. We brake later. We made the move, and he took P8. A beautiful overtake by going round the outside. And now let's try to chase down Sebastian Vettel, but on lap 5 we're dropping to the Ferrari and decided, okay, these tires are dead, we're going to be 2 laps earlier, and I think we can get the undercut not just on Weber but on Bottas, we'll see. But in this lap the pace on the softs was absolutely nowhere near, so I decided, okay, I'm not going to do anything with these tires, so let's take a little bit of a gamble. I think the undercut is very powerful around Singapore. Yes, we are in Singapore. Yeah, Jesus, I was forgetting the name, I don't know why, but let's see if we can make a happy night today. I think we have everything to make this undercut work, and at the moment we are in last place, but that's normal. 5 laps have just gone by, it's not many laps. But yeah, let's talk about laps. Going purple on the first sector, on the last sector, so things are going pretty good. And we overtook Lucas Weber and Valtteri Bottas, and Bottas actually overtook Weber. So now is a very important phase of the race because Bottas is behind us and it's a Mercedes, and the guys ahead at the moment who's leading. I just forgot to say something, is that I didn't get the replays of this race because unfortunately I click on advance by accident instead of clicking on view replay, so I'm sorry for that, but we're going to keep going in this Grand Prix, and we have a virtual safety car, and I'm gonna tell you it's because of Valtteri Bottas that is behind, that was behind us, and he's out of the Singapore Grand Prix, so he gave us a little bit of a relief. And now we try to switch down Pierre Gasly, and now ahead of this train is Robert Kubica on that very slow Williams. With one hard tire, so look at the train that is forming. I'm trying to go around the outside of Pierre Gasly because these guys are doing absolutely nothing against the Williams, and we give a left up on the Red Bull. We have to be a little bit careful, but I'm getting a little bit impatient at the same time. We have DRS, but I was going to say Perez is leading the race because he started on the mediums. He's with a huge gap with second place. Just see on the mini map. I'll try to go around the outside of Pierre Gasly. I'm trying to talk about the strategy, but we're battling with the Red Bull at the moment. We're going on the inside of the Frenchman, and we are into P15, and now we're going to try to overtake Robert Kubica as soon as we can, because that Williams, Jesus, is so slow. And this is a street circuit, so he makes overtaking very hard. But now we have the DRS, and it should be a pretty easy move. Who's going to brake later? It's going to be us, obviously, and we're going on the outside of the Polish, and we are into P14. But now these guys are going to make a one-stop without a doubt. That started on the mediums, like the likes of Sergio Perez, and we can't lose time with these guys, because if we do, we're going to end up behind Sergio Perez with better tires, I believe. But now this is Charles Leclerc on the inside. Oh, Roman Grosjean locks up and we lose a lot of momentum, and we're going to take the pieces of that contact. I don't know if there was contact or not. And P9, 2 positions in 1 corner. Leclerc went on the inside, but the move wasn't successful. They made contact, lost a lot of momentum, and we find ourselves in P9, now P6, because the guys on mediums are making their stops. I believe the Vettel side by side with George Russell, that is still on the hard tires in P5. He has to make another stop, obviously, but the Williams driver doing a pretty decent job at the moment, and let's see if we can smash him as fast as Vettel did. Slipstream on him, and he's going to actually fight back to Vettel. We're going to try to switch on the inside. We made contact with Vettel, and yeah, we overtook Russell, I believe. No, he's still there. Okay, now he's not there. But that was very weird, because Russell, okay, I decided, okay, I'm going to stick on the outside because Russell is not going to do anything, but he did. And then I switched to the inside, because otherwise I would smash into the back of Russell and lose my front wing, and I end up to touch the side pod of Sebastian Vettel. So that was a little bit weird. Never happened that to me. And yeah, I wasn't expecting Russell to come back to Vettel, because there was no point. And we're going to pit now, making our final stop of the afternoon, of the night, sorry. And we're going to fit another set of medium tires, and now we're going to the end of the Grand Prix in those, and we pit. We are at the moment in P5, and things are going pretty smoothly for us. We are on the points, we are ahead of our teammate. We overtook a Ferrari, we chased down another Ferrari, we're beating a Mercedes despite having a DNF. We overtook a Red Bull, and yeah, this Grand Prix, yeah, qualifying was a nightmare, just P10, but things are really starting going on our way. Vettel just gets ahead of us, and yeah, and the overcut was the undercut didn't work quite for Vettel, because we got closer to him, and by the looks of it, he's not going to get ahead of these guys anytime soon, because he's so far off Norris. And now we're going to try to overtake the Ferrari. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Toro Rosso overtaking the Ferrari on the inside as we close the DRS and P14, but it should be, if I'm not wrong, a P5. So Norris is so slow with his worn out tires. I'm trying to find a way to overtake the McLaren. We're going on the inside as we go through the Anderson Bridge. We made a little bit of contact because it's a very tight corner, but I'm getting really impatient against the McLaren that is mega slow. We are like, I wonder how much faster we are than McLaren. 1.5 seconds per lap, but we're losing so much time. and he gets caught on the curb. Now we made even more contact, tried to give a little bit of a squeeze, but Norris resists. Now we're going to have the inside, and that should be it. Yes, it is. And we overtook the McLaren, but we lost a lot of time to Danik Kvyat. But now, just half a lap later, we're already on the back of the Alfa Romeo, and look at the speed difference that we had on the right, on the long right hand. It's not long, it's medium.
Good job.
I don't know, but on the outside, going purple on the first sector, thanks to the slipstream and the DRS, and to these tires that are absolutely amazing at the moment. And now the next victim is the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, and another, and again we're going to open the DRS. He's going defensive. I don't know why. We are not in the same race, and there's Verstappen. We're going side by side with Red Bull. We're going to try to hold Rani outside, but Verstappen pushes very aggressively. That was really weird, being too much aggressive with our junior team. I don't know, but we'll see. Now he's going on the inside of Devon Butler on the last corner. That is not a good place for overtake, and we're going to. They lost a lot of momentum, Verstappen and Butler, and now we're going side by side through the start-finish straight. We're going on the inside of the Red Bull. Can we make this move work? We're still side by side as good foot 10-3. That Red Bull is pretty decent with that downforce, but we made the move stick, and we are at the moment in P4, and it should be P3 as Raikkonen pits. So can we get a podium on this race? This race is being crazy. Their strategy is on point at the moment, and Verstappen goes on the inside and decided, okay, Verstappen is clearly faster. He's on the senior team. Probably we're going to be his teammate if we continue this great job, you know. So I decided to be a little bit more sportsmanship, more friendly to Verstappen, and decided to let him go, and just see the pace confirmation of Verstappen going purple on the fastest lap. Now the fastest lap is ours by going purple on the last sector. So pace is absolutely amazing at the moment, and this man Sergio Perez that started on mediums led the race. Now he's on hard tires. We are in P4. He's in that magical position in P3, and if we overtake him, we're going to be on the last step on the podium. But we have to bear in mind that Charles Leclerc is behind us in that Ferrari, and it seems that he picked up the pace on this last stage of the Grand Prix in this second stint of the medium tires. But pretty easy move on Perez. He has absolutely no chance with the white stripe tires, and we are at the moment in P3. I can't believe I'm saying this. P3 in the Toro Rosso in our rookie season, and the tires are starting to go away at this point, and I'm pushing as hard as I can to pull away of not just of Perez, but most importantly of Charles Leclerc, that is pretty pacey on that Ferrari. Okay, that was so close. I don't like to make things easy to myself, but that was a close one. Just see how much I was pushing, how much I was sweating to pull away of Perez, but guess what? Leclerc, yes, you people say Leclerc, didn't manage to overtake the Mexican, and we're going to finish in P3 at the Singapore Grand Prix after a bad qualifying starting in P10. The pace wasn't there on qualifying, but in the race, the pace was there. We overtook a Red Bull, we overtook a Ferrari, and this is going to be P3 in the Toro Rosso. I'm going to remember this for quite a while.
I just did it.
Okay.
Grazie! Grazie! Incredible! Oh my god, oh my god! Oh my god, this is the best day of my life. Guys, thank you so much! You're amazing! You guys are amazing!
Oh man, I can't believe. If you ask me if I woke up in the morning thinking that I was getting a podium, my answer would be absolutely not, but there you go, confirmation result. We're in P3 in the Toro Rosso in our rookie season. In a crazy race where strategy was key. I think for my side the 2-stop was the way to go. The 1-stop was as well the way to go, so I'm not entirely sure where what was the perfect strategy, but oh man, my first podium in my F1 2019 career mode. Guys, smash the like button please. That was a bonker race and I was sweating buckets and buckets in the last 5 or 4 laps or so, just to build a gap over Perez, because I thought that it would be overtaken by Leclerc, but that didn't happen, and we consolidate our P7 position in the driver's standings, and we pull away of Perez and Weber. So things are looking pretty good if we want to be best of the rest. And this result was, oh god, I'm speechless at the moment, because I wasn't ready. My mind was ready to process this, but there you go, and we are in P4 on the constructors. So, oh man, how many times did I say that? Oh man, the best episode so far. Good overtakes. We overtook a Ferrari, but we had some issues with another Ferrari of Vettel. But here we are now on the office. That means that's the end of this episode of career mode. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and the subscribe channel if you want to see plenty more Formula 1 content. Really motivates me to make more. In terms of development, I'm going to buy one last update, and it's going to be for the MGUH of the car, because it was really worn out at the end of this Grand Prix, and I'm going to change it for the next race that is going to be around Russia, and these are going to be the last upgrades to our Toro Rosso, and from then on I'm going to cease the development, because we're going to have some regulation changes. I received an email from Carl a few rounds ago and said it's going to be probably on the engine side of things, and I want to start to save resource points to adapt the parts that are going to be changed. But guys, once again, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, for me is everything. I'll see you guys in Russia for the next round. I know that I've been not very consistent on my channel, especially with career mode, but I'll try to get back in form in the next few weeks. So I hope you guys understand, but for me is everything, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time. But for now, it's goodbye.